Hello everybody, how is it going? So today we are playing a whole lot of Yamato. I figured, OP06 is pretty close. It's pretty close, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to play one of the decks that I plan on playing for the format. I might do one of these videos with like Reiju as well. It's just it's just testing, but I played a whole lot of games, so I figured I just put them all in one video. If you guys are into this or want me to, test out one of the other new OP06 decks, let me know. The only deck I'm really have no clue about is like Red Purple Uta, but I can still try to do something with the deck. But yeah, starting off we're against a Katakuri, which honestly this matchup is kind of scary just because triggers out of life. I'm taking the 7k swing now because I'm still at 4 life, which means he can't trigger out like an Okiku or like a Neko Mamushi, but he does counter out of it, which I guess, fair play. Also, I find that, I don't know, I really enjoy the green version of this because I feel like you just get so much value from these little searchers and like randomly just preventing them from like swinging at your leader because you have a searcher on board. To be fair, he had the pudding, so it worked out well for him, but still, like, the green searchers just feel so good in this deck, and we're going again. So far, the matchups that I've found that feel kind of bad are mono yellow. I think, it's winnable. I think Enel is very hard. Katakuri is still pretty hard, but definitely doable. Especially, I feel, with, like, the mono green version, I feel like you do better in the yellow than, like, the aggressive version. And Red Purple Law, at least for this version, is harder than I'd say the aggro version. So it's like a trade-off. Would you rather do better in the yellow or do better in the Red Purple Law? There is a Red Purple Law game in this video, but it is with the EBO1 cards. So obviously, for this format, they won't have cards like Kid and Killer, but still good to note, because, honestly, this deck didn't really get many cards in OP or EBO1, unless you count, like, the new Wano cards, but if you're, this list doesn't play the Wano cards, so I don't know if I'd count it. But he does end up taking a double attack for just a 5k, gets 2 triggers. That's cool, especially because we're just playing Kid this turn, and we should be fine. Yeah, 8 cats will be annoying if we get hit with it, but he's down to 1 card. What's the likelihood that it's a 8-drop Katakuri, Also, to be fair, a lot of people have told me that this version of Katakuri doesn't even play 8-drop, it just plays on 7-drop now. So yeah, I might be just completely fine. I think again here, he forgot just about 8-drop Kid effect. Yeah, don't forget about 8-drop Kid effect. It's a very strong card. So yeah, we're looking pretty good now. We know we're not getting 8-dropped. We'll have at least 1 turn. Honestly, I feel like if Kid just survives 1 turn, you're in such a great spot. Like, no matter the matchup, card is just very, very good. So yeah, he's just gonna poke me with a bunch of 8s, which I feel like is a fair play. I really don't want to use my blockers as 1Ks, but like, I will, if I have to. I'll go 10, I'll use the Monet and tap the Sanji, just in case we want to play like 10-drop Dofi this turn, which we probably do, because what's really nice about Yamato and 8-drop Kid is that you can completely tap out and still have Dawn on your Kid, which is super great. I'm just going to go 5 at life most likely because he's pretty low in hand size. He'll probably counter out of it, but it still feels good getting a card from him. Just letting him, for his following turn, only having 2 cards to play is pretty good. He alternatively could just take it, but I kind of doubt it, yeah. So yeah, he'll counter for 2. We'll probably play down Dofi. We're going to freeze the blocker, the Gidatsu, and his leader. And then we'll just use Kid effect to cheat out the Monet. Would have been nice if we could have attacked with him, but I felt like I needed a blocker this turn. To be fair, maybe I didn't, and maybe I should have just attacked. But he 10 moms, which normally that would suck, but I feel like we just have so many blockers in hand that it's kind of whatever. He finally eats a 5k, which we'll take. I definitely could like try to get rid of his board, but I think the safest play, or just like the most reasonable play, is just put him to 0. We should be able to defend this Kid for 1 more turn. We can play down a Killer and a Monet and still leave some up for the Punk Gibson. So we have like just plenty of defense this turn. I guess the only thing that could be annoying is like another 10 mom into a trigger. But even then, I still think we're in a very good spot. Just yeah, getting our top end established and not getting hit with 8-drop Katakuri is very big. Again, I don't even think they play it anymore, so there is that. So we're gonna do exactly what I said. Just play their 2 blockers, leave some up for the Punk Gibson, and we should just be plenty of counter power. We'll get to tap the Sanji with the Punk Gibson again, so we're in a pretty good spot. And he doesn't know what his last life card is, so I mean, not that it really matters at this point because he's at 1 health. So yeah, he's just gonna have to figure out if he can actually out the kid. If he had multiple Amarus, maybe like it was possible, but just has the 1 and taps the Monet. Doesn't want me tapping his Nekomamushi or his Sanji, but I do have another one, so I mean, I guess it like messes up his attack order if I have both of them active. But he'll swing 12 with Big Mom. We'll block and take the draw. He'll go 9. I figured he'll just attack it one more time, and that's when we'll either get the Punk Gibson or we'll just use our Monet to tap the Sanji. And he goes 9. We just use the Punk Gibson because I mean, like, whatever. Game should just be over next turn. We even have the Hody in case we needed it. But yep, he ends up scooping it up. And moving on, we have the Mirror. This guy was playing a very interesting deck list. I think it definitely had, like, I know he's playing Corazon and stuff, which makes me think he's playing, an amount of the Dofi engine. But, like, maybe he isn't, I also, in this Mirror, which might be dumb, I will take a 5k hit, honestly. The reason I do that is just mainly because I'm playing the mono green version, and if they are as well and you counter out early, I feel like you're just so behind because then they'll just start hitting your board and then you're feeling sad. But he plays Mihawk into the Zoro, the starter deck Zoro, which is basically just a big Okiku. So I probably shouldn't have even played this Rosinante, but whatever. We might just get Gadatsu and be sad about it. It's not unlikely. He actually Straw Swords. Interesting he's even playing Straw Sword. The only big blocker I can think of is like Luffy, but like even then, is it even worth it? I don't know. But he's gonna clear the Corazon with the Mihawk. We Punk Gibson his leader attack, tapping his Zoro. That felt pretty good. This turn, we don't have a ton to do. We might just swing at one of his characters. We could just go life as well. Like, he probably won't want to drop down to 0. He might though. Okay, we'll go 8 at Zoro. Fair enough. And we'll just play like a Monet or something. Again, I'm just kind of like playing into this Zoro. But I mean, whatever. I really shouldn't be. But I have nothing really better to do, I guess. I could have swung like 12 with the Zoro. Or 11, sorry. I guess that was an option. But it's okay. He's going to play down Corazon. Attack me for 8, tapping the Monet. I'll just take it. I imagine Monet will just be cleared by the Mihawk. And I kind of want to go down to 0 this turn, because next turn is just 8-drop Kid turn. So we don't have much to worry about. This deck doesn't have a direct answer to 8-drop Kid, unless he's playing like the random Katakuri, which I guess like isn't impossible, but it's pretty unlikely. He'll get down his 2 blockers, pass it over. We don't have to really think about our turn very much. We can try to clear the Mihawk, but like 8-drop Kid kind of just mitigates the value of Mihawk. Honestly, like any attacker lower than Kid just kind of loses value when Kid gets played, so just gonna ignore it and go at life. If he wants to use a block on a 5k or if he wants to counter, that's fine. Either way, because he's already pretty low in cards. And he does drop a 2k. Good exchange for me. I'll play down the Kid into the Corazon, so just in case he has like a Hody, Corazon can still protect our Kid, which is very good. He is on 9 Dawn though. If he's playing like the mono version, he could play like Yamato and like pop something. What did he even just do there? Oh, he Thunderbolted. Okay. Because I was gonna say, was he not just at 2 life? I was gonna say Yamato could pop Corazon. But he's going to swing 15 after Thunderbolting the Corazon. I was just checking to see how much counter I had. I do have enough, so I'm just going to counter out. And it's probably game because I have the Hody. I could have dropped 2 1Ks, could have dropped, used the event like I did. Doesn't super matter, it's whatever. we're just gonna Hody, and it should just be game. Probably just 8-8-10. Sounds like a plan. We'll get you his leader. He gets a Sanji trigger, but it doesn't really matter at this point because 8 is above whatever counter he has in hand, and so is 10. I could have just went 8-8 and it's the same outcome. But, you know, we have to use our leader effect. How could we not? And, yep, that's the game. I think I do run it back with him. He says GG. Whenever someone says GG to me, I am willing to rematch them. Because, yeah, it's always nice and polite of him. Yeah, he decides to go first. Oh, no, I chose to go second. I won the dice roll twice. I'm sorry. We're starting with the baby 5. Gonna pick up a Monet. Pass it over. Again, see, like, look at the value. Yamato attacking my board instead of my face. Feels good. To be fair, like, I probably would have just taken the leader attack anyway. So, yeah. He probably knows that as well. He knows I'm just kind of playing for 8-drop kid. So, there is that. We're gonna, play baby 5, find a Monet, attack for 7. I kind of, like, doubt he'll use the blocker here. Yeah, he'll probably just take. He's pretty safe having the blocker down. On 5 Dawn, could be a Gadatsu, which isn't the worst. It lets his leader attack my life while also clearing the baby 5. Could also just, like, trade his Monet into the baby 5. Like, that's not the worst either, because then it kind of forces me to attack the Monet. He's going to play Onami, so we're going to have to drop 2 2Ks. But because I have 2 2Ks, I feel like this is definitely worth it. Like, there's no way you ever don't take that. He could have, again, swung Monet into my baby 5, but I guess we'll just end up getting value off the baby 5, which is cool. We'll find a 2K counter baby 5. Nothing great to do. If he didn't have the blocker, I'd probably play Onami and try to just rip some cards from his hand. But he has the blocker, so no reason to do that. We'll just go 7. He'll, like, probably either block or counter this, I would imagine. After this, we're just playing another Monet, and the next turn, we're 8-drop kid. He does block. So, yep, we'll play the Monet and pass it back. He's on 7. He could just play, like, Hody and just, like, trade Nami into whatever. But he already can trade Nami into baby 5, so maybe not. Also, playing Hodies, I guess, is a bit scary, just because it puts you down to 1. But to be completely fair, it's not too bad, because at 2 life, you're kind of also at 1 life with Yamato, just kind of how, the leader always having double attack is. So, like, Hody isn't the worst, honestly. But he'll attack me for 5. We'll take that. Kind of just want to fill up my hand a bit before playing kid. And he actually plays Luffy, which, I don't know what the rest of his list could be, but he was playing the Zoro, and I think Luffy can play that Zoro, so I guess there's some synergy there. I wonder if he can play Onami. I feel like he can, so that's kind of cool. To be fair, when you play him, like, you probably wouldn't want to Onami, but still, kind of cool. He actually counters out of the 5K swing. I was surprised about it. I don't know what he was worried about getting punished for there, but could have definitely just taken the free block with Luffy. And, yep, we just get our kid down, play out another Monet. I feel like all the little blockers you play in this deck are so good. Like Monet being able to tap a 4 or less. Corazon just still being usable when he's rested is nuts. And also just randomly protecting from other, like getting KO'd or stuff. And Killer just kind of replacing himself. Like, I feel like the deck just works so well. It's so fun. I love sitting behind 8-drop kid. Let's go. But he's at 9 Dawn. Yamato could clear one of the Monets. He could play an 8-drop kid of his own if he's playing it. It's going to be Hody, though. Okay. So I guess just swinging really big at the kid. That is a lot of cards for my hand, so I don't hate the play. It's going to end up being, what, 2 2Ks and a 1K? Which is the exact amount of counter I have in hand. Which, yep, we'll counter blessings there, because that was pretty lucky. Yeah, and he can't swing with anything else. We might Hody ourselves and just try to go for game. We have some pretty big attacks, right? What could go wrong? Like, at worst, we're still sitting behind kid with 2 Monets. And we get to draw here, which is going to just be a 2K. which is cool. We'll go 8 with leader. He will counter with 2 2Ks. We'll go 8 with Hody. He will take. Maybe he has a trigger here. Triggers out of Sanji. That's pretty good. So that'll slow us down. Can't get game this turn, but we might as well just eat up the blocker and pass. We still should be pretty fine unless he has another Hody. And like if he does, do we die? We might die. But he actually has a 10 drop Dofi. So I only have to counter for 1 or just block. Might just block so I don't have to drop two cards. I don't though. I just counter. Whatever, we'll hold the blockers. And we do have another Hody, which means we're just gonna go for game. Man, this card is so good. Tap 2 and a rush, and in Yamato, he's with all of your Dawn, he's what, a 15 or 13? Like, hello? Yeah, it says GG. I didn't want to spam the mirror, so yeah, moving on. We have a harder matchup in Red Purple Law, and I was thinking about how I could have played this better, because I'm not too sure. Because in the matchup in this game, I kind of try to like not give him cards because I feel like that's just how you lose, of him just having too many cards and snowballing. But like then again, maybe I just have to race him, but I don't think that ever works out because he'll have 5 characters on board by like 2 turns in. So yeah, I don't know. He trades Gordon with the baby 5, which is cool. I'll definitely just swing into the Gordon. I also take a lot of 5s, but again, my mentality is I think I win this just off 8-drop Kid. But and if I'm countering out a ton early, I won't have cards to defend my Kid. So I end up taking 2 5s. Probably should have countered out of 1, but you know, you live and you learn, I guess. We're definitely just gonna clear the Gordon, and playing anything feels pretty bad here because all of my little blockers are just automatically in range of his leader effect, which is unfortunate, but it's just the matchup. He'll let the Gordon go. We'll play baby 5, pick up another Monet, and like we can drop Corazon, but everything still probably ends up getting cleared, right? Because it's just 5 at baby 5. Bottom the Corazon. You can even bottom the Corazon first. You can go like play Kid, bottom the Rosinante, play out whatever, 5 at baby 5, 5 in my life, and he's in a good spot. And I'm only on 6 down next turn, so I can't Kid or anything like that. He's gonna play down a Bond Clay, which right now doesn't have much value. It's just gonna be a 1k attacker if he wants to swing with it. I guess that's what's kind of nice, is like if you don't have much on the board, Bond Clay isn't just obliterating you. But he gets down to Reiju, which is really, really good. You know, I'm trying to not give him cards, and when he has a +1, is very strong. It is very strong. Yeah, he kind of does what I said. Bottom decks the Rosinante, clears the baby 5, swings 7 at me. I don't really want to take this, but I have like, maybe I could have countered it. I don't know. Maybe I was just a bit too greedy with my life, but again, I'm kind of on the 8-drop Kid mentality, so yeah. Maybe should have just taken more counters. But he's only on what, like 5 down next turn? Like, I'll probably live. We'll go 5 at Zoro, because again, we really don't want to give him any cards. And we're probably just playing a bunch of Monets. I could have played like Izo into tap Bond Clay and to clear that for free, but then I dropped my 1 and only 2k, so that didn't sound like the best idea in my mind. But like maybe it was correct. I doubt it though, because I'm not playing any big characters this turn or anything like that. He'll go 5 at life. We have to defend this. We'll drop a killer. I guess kind of the least value blocker. I could have immediately taken the Monet block and tapped his Reiju, which probably would have been for the best. Not sure exactly why I didn't do that. See, I definitely made some misplays this game, but you know, whatever. You know, I think the reason why I didn't take this block is I was like, I wanted to clear the Bond Clay, but then on this attack, I'm like, the Bond Clay doesn't do anything right now, though. But then again, like, next turn he would have done something, so I should have just taken this block. But instead I counter with Monet, so we'll count up the misplays here. It's all good. Sometimes you just gotta do a little bit of trolling. Once again, like, I could take this block. I think I should. Okay, I do. Thank God. I got some value out of it. So now this Monet will just get bottom decked. And he'll probably have Kid and Killer. Probably has 2 of them, because I remember he does have 2 of them. But while I was playing, I was like, Jesus Christ, of course he has 2 of them. Yeah, this card's really good. Again, if we're testing specifically OP06, it's not going to be around yet. But, you know, just how the sim is, you can't test OP06 without also being in the EB01 format. But it's all good. We're still alive, but we're not in a good spot. I can play Kid. It's a card, I guess. We'll see how it goes. We just go 5 LA. Oh yeah, I remember what happened this game. I couldn't attach Dawn to my Kid, so because he countered out of this. I figured, you know, they just auto take. Yeah, but he actually countered. Yep, so I lose the game there. Yeah, this was rough. It'd be like that. Moving on, Sakazuki. I think this matchup is pretty good. I don't hate it. I definitely think it is still winnable for Sakazuki. I don't think Yamato is like super heavily favored, but it's not bad. It's definitely playable. You know, just having the double attack on your leader kind of equals it out when none of your board sticks around, but hey, you know, at least you can put him down in life very quickly. He does get down the brand new, which is the one thing I was not hoping for. Picks up a T-Bone, which is a new EB01 card. I believe it's a 4/5 2k counter. Pops a 2 cost or less, something like that, if I read it quickly enough. We'll use Bonnie, pick up a Kid, attack for 7. I imagine he'll probably counter this first one, so next turn he can get down like a Borsalino, and then he can like take the following hit, you know, just to be a bit safer after, you know, taking a double hit. But he does take the first one. I was kind of surprised about that. But, you know, whatever. I guess play Borsalino, and then you can take the next one, and then you worry about defending. I don't know. Weird spot, but he'll probably just end up trading his brand new into my Bonnie, and then just hitting me for 5. We'll definitely just take the 5. We are on odd curve, and I think I mess up thinking that I can play Kid when I can't, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. Yep, brand new will eat up the Bonnie. He'll go 5 at me. I'll eat that. Find a 2k counter, baby 5. 4 Dawn left. It's looking like a Borsalino, if I've ever seen one. If not, could be like a Kuzan, and I don't have a great punish for the Kuzan, so that definitely wouldn't be bad. But it's actually Rebecca, kind of the last card I was expecting in this spot. But, you know, whatever. He grabs back the Lucci, and, like, if he has the Hina, which he does, I'll probably just cheat it out, because why not go wide? That's what you want to do. I'm probably still just going to go life. Yeah, we'll play down some searchers, because why not? They're just annoying. We only have one option, and that is 10 Dofi here, so that's what we'll take. Might just play the next one, because why not? Just kind of looking for a core zone. That's the main goal here. We'll see if we hit. We do. I do think core zone is stronger against Sakazuki than Monet, but to be completely fair, he can just Hound Blaze it, and they always have it, so, you know, you gotta be aware of that. We're just gonna keep going life. Once I get the 8-drop Kid down, his smaller bodies again won't really matter too much. Then he has to deal with the Kid. And then if he does, you know, hopefully we'll still be alive and we can maybe get a 10 Dofi off, which will keep us alive the following turn. So we have the curve to kind of deal with it. Sadly, our Kid and our Dofi will be delayed a turn because we're on odd curve and we don't currently have like a Hody for a 7-drop or 7 Dawn turn. Which, to be completely fair, we might not have even taken because that's a little bit scary, but whatever. We know this turn, brand new will get rid of one of the baby 5s. Hina will probably clear the other. And we'll probably end up taking 1 more damage. That's the plan. So, yep. Brand new clears 1. Could also, you know, like swing leader into it if he wanted to. Could also just like pop it or something. He does have the loot sheet. We know he added it off of, what's it called? The Rebecca here. He's gonna cycle it actually. Okay, word. Draw something. Maybe should have just like started with that. I don't know. But actually plays 3-drop Brook, another EBO1 card. It's a pretty good card. It's on play and when attacking, you can -1 to a character, and then if there's a 0 cost, I believe it pops it. Yep, that's it. We'll take the 5k from Hina. We'll probably take this one as well. Okay, I lied. To be fair, next turn is not our 8 Dawn turn. It's our 7 Dawn turn. So, yeah, probably best to defend that. He's going to get down another Brook, which is pretty strong. I mean, honestly, kind of has the setup to potentially deal with their 8-drop. So, not looking the best. We do have the Ezo to just tap his Rebecca and then just kind of try to put him down to 0, which could potentially, you know, just, we might not even end up playing 8-drop Kid. We just might go for life. Which, I mean, it looks like that's what we're doing. Yep. We'll play the Ezo, then attack for 9. It's a lot of cards out of hand if he wants to counter it. I'm not too worried, you know. His attackers on board aren't really that big. It's just 2 4Ks and a 5K. So we know 2 Dawn would at least go to each of the Brooks. So we're not too concerned about dying. Still have a lot of cards in hand. It's unlikely he'd even try to go for a game. So, yep. Potentially has like a trigger here on the first damage. I feel like he thought for quite a bit. But maybe he just forgot about it and was like, why am I not playing or something? I don't know. Okay. He triggers a Hound Blaze and bounces the brand new to hand, which is kind of cool. I like the play, you know, giving yourself back a searcher. But Hound Blaze is a very strong card, so maybe just keeping that in hand would have been better. I don't know, whatever. He cycles out the Ice Age, draws a card. That's good for me. We'll hope he doesn't have another one. Because, I don't know, maybe he doesn't know the list I'm playing and that I play top end. Or maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he's just based like that. That's completely possible. We'll take the 5 from Hina. Again, I don't think he's going to go for game. He'll probably just end up clearing the Ezo in some fashion and getting down a blocker or something. That's normal Sakazuki activity. Probably can't take all of... probably can't take 2 5Ks. Because then he could just all Dawn on Brook and then I die. So we'll probably just drop a 1K. Yeah, I think I should use the Monet. Dropping any of my little blockers feels a bit bad, but, you know, whatever. We're going to do it because we have to. So still has how much Dawn to work with? 8 Dawn to work with. That's quite a bit. These Brooks in sequence could clear the Ezo. Just each one has to swing once. So you could go like 5-5, pop the Ezo on the second swing. Or you're just going to play a bajillion searchers. It goes to Shigi into T-Bone, then brand new into Kuzan. Kuzan's pretty good. If, yeah, Kuzan would just be pretty decent here. Just to trade into the 8-drop Kid. So it's going to attack with Brook for 4. Obviously just to get the cost of Ezo to minus, you know, 2 right now. And then the other attack with Brook will probably be for 5 and pop the Ezo. So yeah, don't have to worry about that. Yep, swing for 5 and pop the Ezo. Honestly, we can counter this, but we are playing 8-drop Kid next turn, so maybe we just take it. But also, to be fair, okay, I take it. But also, there's potential to counter out of that just to, you know, like if he has an efficient answer to a Kid, which he did play down the Kuzan, so, you know, he does have a pretty efficient answer to the Kid. So, there might be a reason to defend that 1 life to hopefully survive next turn, but we'll just see. We'll see how much Dawn he has to end up spending on, you know, actually getting rid of this Kid. And right here, I debate. I'm like, what am I attacking at? How do I kind of live this turn? I think I have to swing at the Brook, because if not, he brings it down to 2 very easily. with just already what he has on board. Actually brings it to 1. I forgot that Brook is kind of just another Sakazuki. So yeah, maybe swinging at that Brook is even just incorrect, because he can already reduce it by 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? It could minus 7 to it already. But I guess now we can only minus 6, but like still, that puts Kid at a 2 cost. That's just Hound Blaze or Lucci. So yeah, maybe should have just went for life. Whatever though. It's all good. He'll cycle out an 8-drop for something. He will Hound Blaze the Rosinante, plus 3 to the Kuzan. I think the reason he did this is like he still wanted to be able to try to go for game, but like honestly he probably should have just swung with Kuzan, Brook leader, Hound Blaze, put it on the Hina, and then just, well, to be fair, I'd still have the Corazon. See, I don't know. Fair enough. Yeah, he might still just have the answer to the Kid. It's a little bit awkward with the Corazon on field. Yeah, it goes 9. I'll drop a 2k. Obviously, we can't just let it go for free. We gotta make him spend the Dawn to actually pop it. And he does have another Ice Age, which is pretty good. And then Brook will just clear the Kid. And I think it takes a second for him to realize that he has to, like, I don't know how you even resolve it, because it's weird, because the Brook swings at Kid, but then pops Kid. It's like sometimes that happened with like Robin. It's not too uncommon. It just, the attack just fizzles. It goes nowhere. He'll go 2 Dawn on Hina. We will just drop probably the event and one of our kids. And he could definitely go for game here, but he played it safe and decided to not do that. So we live. To be fair, I had 7 cards in hand. So I mean, it's 3 2Ks, 2 1Ks is what I would need to get out of that, which isn't unlikely that I have, but also, if you're worried about dying, you probably still just go for it, because now you just have the Rebecca, and if I top deck an Izo or a Hody, don't you just lose? Unless he has a ton of counter, which, I mean, to be fair, that's raw. But it's pretty rare Sakazuki has a lot of counter. And they run like usually 8 2Ks, so yeah, if I top deck one of those cards, I'm in a pretty good spot. And I find the Izo, and I have, I don't have any other play outside of just playing this Izo and attacking for 12. So that's just what we're going to do, and we'll see if he has it. He could have it. So, starts dropping his hand, gets exactly up to 12k, and the remaining cards were no counter. And next up, we have Enel, which I think, again, is a pretty hard matchup for Yamato, but I think it gets mitigated a bit by the mono green aspect rather than, the more aggro version. I feel like the more aggro version, it's like impossible to just kill Enel. I feel like in this matchup, as long as you have top end to kind of contest his top end, it's all good. And honestly, Tendofi is very strong in this matchup. But he'll clear my Bonnie and then play a Hiyori. I top deck an Onami, which I kind of want to take the 7k, but I'm like, nah, I just can't. I just need to wait one more turn to kind of more guarantee the Onami, swinging for 9 over swinging for 7 here. And he played a 2k down in the Hiyori, so like it's pretty likely he has one more and then a 1k. So we're gonna wait a turn. We're gonna play just the Bonnie, pick up a killer, and yeah, we'll just play the Corazon. Not even gonna attack. I could, but honestly, maybe I should have attacked there, because he probably stacked like an Okiku, and so he probably would have wanted to save that, because I was at 4 life and it wouldn't have been able to trigger. So yeah, maybe I am supposed to attack that turn. Might have been better. But he's on his 5 down turn. Kind of doesn't matter what I do here. If I block that with Rosinante, it just gets popped by Gedatsu and vice versa. So whatever. But he didn't play a blocker. So that means either drop 3 cards or get your life banished. And we get the good outcome of making him banish 2. One was an Okiku. I'm not sure what the other one was. Can we see? It was Soul Pocus Okiku. So that Onami went absolutely crazy. That's all I have to say. He'll go 5-6. He plays a Big Mom. I think about it pretty hard here. I'm like, do I trash? Do I just give him a life? But I know my following turn is just 8-drop Kid. But like Enel actually guaranteed like plays 8-drop Katakuri, so how strong is it? I was debating. But I was like, if I play Kid and then he 8-drops it, at least I'll get that life back that I trashed. So, I mean, whatever. That's what we end up doing. Yep, we're just playing Kid this turn into a killer. And we can attack him. I don't think it's a good idea because we just give him a cycle for free. So we're not going to. We're just going to go Kid into killer, give him 2 Dawn, and pass. He probably has the Katakuri because, I mean, they always do. And I don't have a second Kid in hand, but I at least have a Dofi. So, I mean, at least we'll get that down on curve. And then we just kind of have to play the weird staring contest with an L, where it's like I can't really swing. So, we'll see. Yep. Our 8-drop gets 8-dropped sad times. He'll just attack for 5 with leader. And I'm just going to take that because why not? He knows that if he swings into me again, he has to give me back my 8-drop Kid. So he might be kind of lenient in doing that. Right here, I was like, I'm definitely just 10-dropping. Like, yeah, it doesn't get a ton of value, but I'm pretty much guaranteed alive unless Amaru. And even then, I think I'm still alive because I have a lot of cards in hand. I have, what, 3 2Ks, 2 1Ks. Like, I'm probably fine. So, we'll go 5 just to see if he wants to counter. Nice. He does. Free card. We love to see it. The reason I did that just because I think inevitably I get the free card because I just end up swinging with Onami. So if he doesn't counter out of that, he does get a cycle but still has to drop a card. So yeah, I think the better outcome for him would just be to take that 5k and just see what happens. He plays Soul Pocus. And again, I want my 8-drop Kid back, so I will give him a life. It's all good, you know. If he wants to swing with his characters, that means my Dofi can trade into them. He could also be potentially scared of another Dofi, which is reasonable. He'll go Onami onto Katakuri and attack me for 11. I'll just take the block. I have a lot of defense in my hand. Should be fine. Pick up another 2k. Alright, so yeah, we're just swinging at this Katakuri. I think I'm just going to go 10, because I'm like, if he wants to drop 2 cards, I'll just swing it again with Yamato and play a blocker. So it's kind of whatever. But he just lets it go. And I'll swing 5 at life. Again, if you really want to get a potential trigger, you have to eat a 5k. And he counters, which I think is a good outcome for me, honestly. We'll play double killer, give him each a Dawn, and we still have 2 up. Well, we have 4 up technically, but we have enough to punk Gibson. So we know we're living. We know our Dofi isn't just going to get, randomly attacked really big. So I still think we're in a fine spot, Thankfully, we kind of had both pieces of top end. He's going to swing 11 at my Dofi. I just drop a 2k because I'm like, he might just go 12 with Lin, and then I'm sad. But he plays an Okiku, which I mean is chill. We also find an Onami at a great time. Because once again, he's at 2 cards in hand with no blockers. So Onami, 9k attack. Banish some triggers for me. And yep, we're definitely not going to swing with Dofi because it is completely pointless. I guess it isn't, because we could go like, I guess maybe like 7 on Onami, 10 on Dofi, and like put him to 0. But whatever, we'll play it safe, I guess. He's gonna play Yamato, which gets some pretty good value here, and clearing one of the killers. Yep, that's pretty good, but his hand is very low. His life is not that low. He's still technically at 3. And he just passes on that, so I can't attack any of his board. And I top deck a Bonnie. And I really wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do here. I was like, I'm probably just attacking. Then I'm like, I might as well play the Bonnie, because the Bonnie is just my free 2 Dawn for my leader effect. So, yeah, let's just play the Bonnie first, right? It just makes the most sense. So, yep, we'll play her, and we find a Kid. And I'm like, wait, this leader, I can play Bonnie into Kid and still give him Dawn. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because why not? I mean, that's kind of good. We still have 3 2Ks and the 0 cost event to defend. So we should have enough counter to defend this Kid. I really think about my choice here, but it's like, that's the only card I could take. I think I was just thinking about actually playing the kid or not, so yeah, excuse me on that. But we'll just go 5. He counters. That's good for me. I'll take it. We'll play kid, and then we will use kid, not play anything, give him 2 Dawn, and pass. We still have the 1 blocker, so again, it's kind of hard for him to just all in the kid. Could swing like 2 big numbers at it, but we still should have enough counter to get out of one of them, you know, blocker defending the other one. Goes 7 Dawn on leader, attacks for 12, so not really wanting to tap one of his big bodies, which I mean, fair enough. But I'm just going to block that, and if he swings 12 with Yamato, we have the counter to get out of it, so it's fine. But swings with Okiku, I mean, that's cool. I'm never clearing Okiku when I have kid on the board, so I mean, like, fair enough. But yeah, swings with the Linlin, we'll counter that one. I was going to say, yeah, might as well just swing with the Yamato at that point. And then he concedes. I don't even know if I had game there, but I guess he's just done playing into my board, I guess. I don't know. I guess I could have Dofied, which would have been pretty good, but whatever. We're finally up to our final match. It is against a red-purple Luffy. I think this matchup is pretty good for us. Yeah, and we get to go second, so that's nice. We find a Bonnie. We're playing the Bonnie. We want our kid, have to secure that man. We don't find one, but we find another Bonnie, which could find a kid, so we're chilling. He is on 3 Dawn. Also, I got pretty lucky. He didn't play like a Nami first turn, because now his leader has to attack the Bonnie. And these are kind of the scenarios where I mean, where it's like a deck that feels like they have to be aggro back at you, just like can't, because there's an engine on the board that they have to clear. So, yep, pretty good. And doesn't have anything to play turn 2 either, which, I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate, but that means we get more value out of our searchers. So we're going to play another one. And we find the kid. Now we're just going to attack for 7. He'll surely just counter out of this, because why wouldn't you just drop a 2k here? Okay, a Radical Beam. I mean, at this point in the game, it's a 2k, so fair enough. It's up to 5 Dawn. I was thinking maybe he could, yeah, just clear the Bonnie and then play 5-drop Luffy, which I guess, you know, would develop his board. But he plays down 5-drop Kid, which, I mean, is still pretty decent, you know. It works well with what the deck wants to do. We'll play Baby 5, find a Rosinante, and then we'll just swing big. He might just take this because he has now established a blocker, so it makes sense. And he doesn't get a trigger. We'll pass it back. So next turn is our 8-drop Kid turn. He doesn't really have anything to fight back on it right now, and he's only at 7 Dawn, so I guess maybe he could drop like 7 Kid, which could be good. To, you know, it'd be even to 8-drop Kid, and it'd make it easier for him to attack with his leader. So yeah, that sounds decent. He swings 6 at me, and of course, the only yellow card I play in the deck is in my life. And we kill the kid for free. Yeah, that's rough. It is definitely rough. He jet pistols the Baby 5 and then plays Chopper. I grab a Hody for turn. I'm like, sweet, I will play that because I'm still pretty healthy and I don't think anything kills me. So yep, we'll tap the Chopper, eat another life, find another kid. And right here I kind of debate on what I want to swing, if I want to go 6 and then 8. But I figured it's probably best to just clear the blocker and then put him to 0. So that's what we do. Doesn't have any Dawn up, so it's pretty unlikely he counters out of that. And we'll pass. Should be on either 9 or 10 Dawn. I think 10 Dawn if he ramps here, which he should. Yep, goes up to 10. And it's like, what do you even do here? This spot is so rough for him. Whitebeard is okay, I guess. 10-drop Luffy, I don't think ever does it. So maybe just double blocker. That's a play, I guess. Nope. Plays the Whitebeard. I mean, if he leaves one up, he does have quite a bit of defense if he has a Radical Beam, so there is that. I was hoping that was a Punk Gibson so I could 10-drop Dofi and feel really good about myself, but It was the other one, which is unfortunate, but whatever. He ends up conceding. I mean, I was probably just gonna play Kid and then wall up. Yes, his 9-drop would be pretty good at defending. I mean, he has a decent amount of counter. It was winnable, right? If I just stacked all on Hody, he had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he'd be at 17. Oh, I guess he wouldn't make it. Oh, okay. Well, that's only if I committed to that. He should have played it out because I probably wouldn't have stacked all of my Dawn on Hody. Also, my last life was a Punk Gibson, so that's funny. Regardless, that's the video. There's a lot of games in this video. This commentary took forever. I'm going to upload more. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye-bye.